Welcome to the lounge and the US indices report, and starting with the S&P 500 on the 4-hour chart. We're looking for a wave 4 to pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree at around the 2000 mark here. And with that in mind, we're looking at this as wave 4s can be quite sort of complex, but our previous wave 4 was really quite simple, okay, in its coming down through to here. So we'll take this as wave 4 in terms of an A and a B and a C wave coming through to here. So on the 2-hour chart, it would look a little bit like this here. From wave A, wave B, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're coming into the ending of this structure here into this area here. So we can expect a bounce off this area here, and just nailing that down on a 15-minute chart here from wave B here. We're looking for 5 waves down for wave C. So the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. And with this one here, I'm assuming this is all wave 1 here and wave 2 here and 3 and then 4 and 5 into the 2000. It could be counted differently here too, with wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 back up here, but it's quite a high wave 4, isn't it? You know, so I was a bit concerned about that. So I think that we'll play it out like this here, as this looks like the largest structure coming into play here. So it would match up quite nice like this here. But either way, expect support to come in on this area through here. Now I'm just going to go to the daily chart and have a look at a different count. So into this area here. So I don't need that. So just an alternative count, and it's quite valid too when I look at stocks, and perhaps we will look at a couple of stocks. So basically wave 3 up here, but looking at this as the A wave here, a B wave over here, and a C wave here. So it could open up further down through here. So basically this move down here so far, we've got it as an A and a B, and we're in this C wave here looking for 5 waves. If that's not the case, we'll see a bounce off the 2000, and if it is corrective, then we know that we're going to get 5 waves down from the top here. And in that case, if we do get 5 waves down, then we'll look at a counter trend as an ABC, and then down for a 3rd and 4th and 5th coming down here for wave C. Now this is quite valid, but sometimes you get stocks that, generally speaking, kind of give you a little bit of direction, but it's not quite the case. So when we look at say Apple first, let me just find Apple. So with Apple here, we can see that this B wave here is really quite suitable, isn't it? You know, just where it's come back up to, you know, the retracement, the 50-60% sort of retracement, the look and the feel of it. So in this particular instance, you know, it's quite valid to have an A wave and a B wave here and a C wave here, and you know, the Nasdaq top 100 and the comp, one of them's pulled back up to this area here, one of them's made a new high up here. But look, these are the sort of stocks that are sort of dragging it down a little bit. And when you kind of think about, Google's the other big one here as well. So looking at Google here, we're counting 5 waves up off this low of 500 here. So wave 1 and 2, you know, wave 2 could be over here. It doesn't really matter. We've got wave 3 here. We've got an ABC for wave 4 here. Now, I'm just a little bit unsure of this. If I put wave 4, if I put wave 4 here, for instance, I've actually got 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finishing here. So that could be the top just there. If I have wave 4 here, which is also valid as well, it's just that this is a bit messy in here, then this would be the 1 and 2 here, and this would be the 3, and then we'd be looking for, you know, basically sort of ABC correction here, and then wave 5 up here for finishing there. So this is something that we need to work through this little area here too. So we've basically got, even this is the Nasdaq, of course, but this is the same for the New York stock market as well. We've got half of the stocks going up, half of the stocks coming down. So it's not really giving us a real clear sort of pathway to work with. So it's just something we're going to have to work through this daily count with the S&P 500 and also the Dow and the others as well. So it will be interesting to see what we sort of what evolves as the bounce here. So internally, in the smaller degree of structures, we know where we are, but there is this degree of structure here that we need to sort of figure out what we've got, which shouldn't be too difficult. We just need to allow it to play out, in that space first. And of course, this is the same for the Dow Jones as well. In this instance here, we've got it as 1 and 2 and wave 3 up here. And wave 4, but this would all be the same as the Nasdaq, as the DAX as well, the European markets. So it's quite valid, and all we really need to do is stay within what we know, and what we know from this top here. We're looking for 5 waves down through to here into the 17,000 area here. And it's the same on the 2-hour chart here, the Dow, just looking at an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking for 5 waves in this last structure here. So we'll come into this sort of space here, But if we see that we get our 5 waves in here, for instance, and we make our low here, if we can see that. If this is impulsive, it'll take a little while to work out. Well, then we'll know where we are, by getting the first 5 waves here. But that doesn't really get us out of trouble, because it'll still be an A and a B and a C. But if we can see that it's corrective in any shape or form, then we know that we're going to get another one down here, and then that will give us 5 waves down to this point. And because we get 5 waves here, that means that this is going to open up further. We'll get a 3-wave counter trend, and then we'll get another 5 down, so a much bigger correction. So this little area in here is really something that will be a key to unlocking what's going to happen in the next larger trend here. So as I mentioned, it's just something that we need to work through. Once again, on the daily chart here, it's quite possible that this can be a B wave here. It hasn't taken out the top here. And it's falling off quite sharply. We can look at, even in the New York market, the, Goldman Sachs and JPM and those sort of things, they've got a pattern very much like this as well here. So they can be quite easily corrective, very much looking like Apple, really, to various degrees, of course. So, this bearish scenario can still play out much further than anticipated. So this is something that we need to be careful with wave 4s. It's just something that they can get complicated, and they're not easy, and you don't really know until all the ducks are lined up of what something is sometimes. So sometimes that it can't be anything else, and then it makes Elliott wave a very strong sort of method to use. But until you have that confidence and that surety, then you need to be you need to take different tactics, and our tactics are just to stay within this particular trend that we're looking at here, down into the 17,000. All right, that's it, and it's the same on the 15-minute chart here as well for the Dow Jones. So we'll see further weakness come into play, and we just got to watch some of the larger stocks to see what's occurring with them as well. Okay, cheers.